Welcome back to Half A Hot Rods. Today we're not doing fun modifications to make things cooler. We've got an issue with Missy's Blazer. It's decided that it wants to start idling at about 1500 RPM, which isn't right. There's a 1500 RPM, it makes it a little harder on everything, probably worse on fuel, and it's just not right. There's a couple sensors that can contribute to this, but also a common failure with these is developing a vacuum leak. So we're going to look for a vacuum leak first. How we're going to do that is with a fuel system diagnostic tool, brake clean. And I'm going to spray this around the different places on the intake, and if the engine RPMs rise, that means it's sucking in air there where it shouldn't be, because the fuel injection system needs to, or really even the carburetor does, they need to only get air from certain places. When you start getting extra air, well, it doesn't work like it's supposed to. We're going to have a look here and see what we can figure out. See if it falls off there. Hear that idle drop? There's a significant leak there somewhere. I think we can pull the air cleaner off and have a look. I don't see anything that's obviously broken. Oh, well, there is now. Great. Trying to move these wires around and stuff, and the wire loom is so old and brittle it just falls apart. Well, I don't know if I just broke this little nipple that goes on there, or if it was cracked before. So I guess we'll start by fixing that and then recheck. Got a piece of rubber hose about the right diameter and jammed it on there. When I say about the right diameter, I mean it's probably too small, but I was able to force it. Let's see how that goes. I feel like it might be that base gasket. Doesn't seem to be in any one particular place, so I'm thinking it's the gasket that goes under the throttle body. We grab a wrench or a socket, see if we can't snug it down. So I went and looked at another one I've got over there that I can see better. There's a bolt right here that feels like it's tight. That moved a little bit. tighten it too much because I'm afraid I'll break it. I've been known to do that. I think we're going to have to go get a new gasket. At least pull that one off and have a better look at it. Probably should do it before it gets all the way to scorching my fingers degrees. Maybe we'll get one of these guys while I'm out. Crispy critters.
What's next?
I don't think I have anything else to drive to town because we got some other issues on some of the other hot rods and everybody's gone. So either wait for someone to get home or drive this into town and get it real hot. Alright, I figured out my transportation situation, so I'm going to tear this apart. Then we'll run to town and we'll get what we need. And hopefully in tearing this apart, I will also confirm that it is definitely that gasket. It certainly presents like it is, but you know, stranger things have happened. We'll see how many other vacuum lines and stuff I break. 13's too big, 12's too small, should be half. Good Lord. Smell some smashed knuckles coming here. I think the bottom of this air cleaner stud is the bolt that holds this guy down. You know, because bolts and then a separate single air cleaner stud worked fine for 100 years, so let's go ahead and change that idea. Sure enough, brilliant. Just lay that across the battery so it can do some welding. Man, they're tight. Son of a... That's exactly why I didn't want to disconnect stuff. Everything is brittle. Did you see that? Or was my shoulder in the way? I just broke some stuff. This solid line that goes into this rubber boot, she's not so solid anymore. Great. So now I have to figure that out. Every plastic piece I touch, taking a chance of breaking it. You little, well, you know what you are. Good. Alright, now we just got two fuel lines that hopefully won't puke fuel all over the hot engine and cause a fire. Fight me on every single thing we do, even though it's for your own good. And why doesn't the wrench fit now? I'll go over to the other side and get the other one. There we go. That one out of the way. Hook, do you really think that's helpful? Oh, there is a fitting there. I lied. That feels like I'm rounding it. I am. So it happens when you use the wrong size wrench. Hook, that's really not super helpful, buddy. It's also not the right size wrench. What are you doing? Okay, also not the right size wrench. I don't know, Hook. Watch yourself getting on that battery. You're going to touch both sides of it and get an unpleasant surprise. Have fried pussycat.
Brad Pussycat.
That's also not the right size wrench. So lesson learned, there is a fitting that these fuel lines screw into on both sides of the throttle body, even if you can't see it. And I'll show you in a minute. And if you don't take it loose at the right spot, it's not going to want to turn. It's going to be a pain in the butt. So, that fitting, it's these guys. So, yeah. Look how good that gasket is, Hooker. Look at that. Look, would you look at it? Tell the people, this is garbage. She's cooked. Oh yeah, this is boogered. Look at that. Look how it's all chewed up. This is probably that first piece that I chunked off, but all this is no bueno for caca. Right, Hooker? Let's tighten these up before I forget. Yeah. To get that belly torque. You feel me? Alright. We gotta get the rest of this off here, and then we're ready to get the new gasket and put it back together. Feel me, dog? Ooh, that's offensive, isn't it? I'm sorry. Put your safety glasses on. Always cut away from yourself. Why? One of these days I'm really going to have to buy a gasket scraper. I really don't want to gouge this because I'm sure it's not super high quality metal. Anybody else having visions of that going right into my palm? Didn't get me. Well, it got me a little, but it didn't quite.
500 years later.
May as well rebuild it while I got it out. I still have a cut in my eye because it burns. Guess we should look and make sure we don't have any gasket left on the intake. Oh, that looks pretty good. I'll leave that covered up. See if we got I think we can just make a loop for this guy. So this is the other end of that broken one. That's the PCV valve. So why does it need to be this way? Just another one of GM's brilliant ideas to fix something that wasn't broke. Well, 2 hours later, back from town, got some gaskets. And I think we're ready to put this thing back together. Let's see how it goes. What's the torque spec on that? Just tight, but not stripped. Take a break. Boss is home. And we're back! Man, I hope I can remember how this goes back together. Shouldn't joke about that, I might not. Injectors are back in. Alright, one more fuel line back here. This is another one of those what was wrong with the old way GM. These are hard lines on the back of this throttle body, which is fine, but they're harder to deal with. They're harder to get lined up. They're harder to get started without messing up the threads. I wonder if that new round gasket's going to cover where I boogered that. New round gasket that is not crunchy. And I'm not trying to be funny, it was literally crunchy. I don't care what this looks like, I'm definitely not super gluing this back in here. I don't think that part makes the difference anyway. Actually, we got everything hooked back up. We could probably run our test again and see if we fixed anything. Let me grab a can of fuel system diagnoser. We're at about 1,000 to 1,100 RPM, which is where this should be. Same spot. No change. I might have fixed something. Spray around the back, make sure I didn't create a new problem. Think we good. Alrighty then. We put the air cleaner back on. Call that job done. Let me set this guy on. Somewhere in that neighborhood. Look at that, both studs same time. Don't Google that. Whew. We could call this a success and say we're all done. But wait, there's more. Because the wipers don't work right on this. And when I say they don't work right, I mean you turn them on, they don't shut off until you shut the truck off. Usually with this era truck, the problem is within the circuit board in the wiper motor. So I don't know how to diagnose it, to be perfectly honest. I just bought a circuit board and we're going to stick it in there. So let's do that. 2 for 1. Woo! Yeah, let's see which one it is. Not that one. That one's almost there. Oh, there it is. Just right. To get this guy off, there's 3 bolts. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll pull this plug out. Three screws, really. I guess they're not bolts. cover off. I think the new one comes with a new cover. Pretty fancy. You just wiggle it and jiggle it. I bet if I knew what I was looking at, maybe I could see something wrong with that. Maybe somebody out there sees something wrong with it. Can tell me what it is. I bet that it's a simple fix. It's a little bit of solder here or there, and these work again. But I remember GM putting out a recall back in the day, and we did hundreds of these. I say we. I wrote the paperwork, and the guys with skills replaced them. Here's my brand new $33 Dorman part. Local ABC had it in stock. That's the same. Oh, it even comes with new screws. Man, what a deal. Okay, looks the same. Looks the same. Looks the same from all angles. Let's put it in there and see if it fixes anything. And there's these guys right here slide into a channel in the wiper motor. And there's some tension on those little springs. Don't you fall out of there. I didn't have all my ducks in a row. I'm not even sure where they're all at, to be perfectly honest. Ooh, that's really short for thick fingers. Just get it in there enough to hold it, because I don't want to get it crooked. I don't know that that'll cause a problem, but it probably wouldn't do it any good. I guess I should have showed you what they were doing before, but you'd turn the wipers on and then turn them off and they wouldn't go off. You have to stop, shut the engine, shut the key off all the way before the wipers would shut off. It was dumb. So key on just like it was running. Wipers are on. Wipers are on low. That's high. That's low. And that's off. This switch is a little goofy too, but they wouldn't do this before. So we're going to call that a success. On. Off. What do you know? Fix two things in one day. I'm going to go buy a lottery ticket. So there you have it. We fixed two pretty common problems. The vacuum leak, that could be on anything, but it's not uncommon on older GM trucks, these TBI motors. I was kind of suspicious of it, like I said, before we started. So I'm glad that's all it was. Let's see, altogether, looking at my receipts, $36 for the wiper deal, $13 for the gaskets. So we're about $50 in. I used a handful of sockets, some Torx. Never mind that cart, that's holding all Tucker's parts and pieces. I had some rubber hose laying around. I never throw away rubber hose if it's any good. So that's how I was able to fix this busted vacuum line. And the other one I broke, just regular wrenches. And altogether, I probably got 3 hours in this because of that stupid gasket that didn't want to come off. But you know, had that come off easy, this would have been an hour and a half job probably. So, not too bad. Not too bad. Pretty simple, and it was easy to figure out. And that vacuum leak thing with the brake clean or carb clean or any kind of fuel source will work on any kind of vacuum leak. So yeah, we're going to call it good. We're going to call it fixed. Remember to check us out on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Follow us on all those. We recently had a video that went kind of crazy on the TikTok, and I don't know why, because I didn't think it was that good. But anyway, until next time, thanks for watching. And remember, if I can do it, you can do it.